Hello, this is Cameron Snow with Danomics.com. So in this video, I'm going to briefly highlight some of the cross-section functionality that's present in Danomics. So we've had cross-sections in Danomics for quite a long time. However, there wasn't a lot of flexibility around those. But in this most recent update on October 26, 2020, we have added some significant new functionality. So just as a reminder, we had the previous ability to automatically draw a cross section. However, that cross section included every well that was present in the on the current map, and it also didn't offer a lot of options for editing or for reordering those wells. So we've added a lot of tools around that. So I'm just going to zoom in here on my section of interest. And let's say we want to create a new cross section. Well, the way we do that, we come over to our map, and let's access our map settings. To do that, we click on this gear icon that brings up the map settings, and you'll see this new section called cross sections. If we expand that out, we see that it gives us a few options here, like to display the active cross section, all cross sections, or none. And we also have this drop down for databases. So if I had already created some cross sections, I could select that database here. I don't have that at the moment, so I'm going to say create new. And this will create a new points database, and I'm just going to call this my Alston Chalk cross sections because that's the project that I'm working on. And so now it says new here, so I could create a new cross section, and that cross section will be added to this newly created points database. So I'm going to say new, and there's a couple of ways that I can add cross sections here. I can right click on a well, and I can say add to cross section. Doing that, though, seems like it would be a little bit cumbersome to do for a lot of wells. So we've added a capture tool, so we can right-click and we can say capture to cross-section. And now I have a little plus sign beside my mouse arrow, and I can come here and I can just click on wells. And as I click on them, they are added to the cross-section. And then I right-click and I say cancel capture. And so we can see that we've added these wells to our cross section. We can see here's a well here in the middle of our cross section that doesn't go through our zone of interest. So if I wanted to eliminate that well, I just locate it here in my well list, which once again is located under this new cross section options in the map tab. And I can just click that. That well is automatically removed. And now my cross section makes a bit more sense. Okay, just to remind you of the options that you have once you're in the cross section. So we can pan up and down by left clicking and dragging in any track. We can zoom both by using the middle mouse button, so using the scroll wheel, or we can do a zoom on the depth track, so that's a zoom to range. We've also added options to edit the style here. So if I click on this gear icon, so the settings icon in the top right of the cross section tab, it'll bring up the cross section settings, so I can do things like change this fill color. Let's say I want a lighter gray in there, so now you can see that's instantly changed. Let's say I wanted to make my gamma ray curve itself a different color, so maybe I can come down here and I can just select a different color for my gamma ray curve. So that happens pretty much instantly. If I want to change the width of this track, once again, we can do that. And then to hide that away, I can just click the settings icon again. We can also access that in a couple of different ways. So if you hover over the track header, you can click the settings icon beside any curve, and it will bring up that editor tool. So let's say I wanted to change the scale here. So I can just make that scale from 0.1 to 1,000. Let's say I wanted to change this fill to a less bright colored red. I can just change that here in my color palette, and you can see those changes take place immediately. And once again, to hide that away, I can just click the settings icon, or I can click these two arrows to hide that away. So remember, we have options also to change what we're flattening on. So we can flatten on none and put this as a structural cross section, or we can select to flatten on a surface. If we, and remember, as we scroll left to right, the highlighted portion of the curve here shown in red will move along with the welds that are displayed. To add a second cross section, what I can do is I can just come here and say new, and it'll automatically give us a name. I can update that if I want to. And I can come over here to my map, I can right click, say capture to cross section 2, and I can add wells as I see fit. And then to end that, I'm just going to right click and say cancel capture. And let's just zoom here to the section of interest. So let's say I'm interested here in the Austin chalk. Once again, it looks like I've added a well that doesn't go through my zone of interest. So I'm just going to come down here and I can click the X beside that API number. And now that's been eliminated from the cross section. That is how we do that. Just remember that you will need to save in order to save these cross sections. And once again, we can either choose to display the active cross section, all cross sections, or none. When you have all cross sections displayed, if you want to switch between cross sections, just a reminder on how to do that. You can either come up here to the selection menu and select which cross section you would like active. So cross section 1, cross section 2. Or I can come here and I can click on a different cross section in the map and it'll switch back and forth, essentially drawing those instantly for us. All right, so those are the new options for the cross section available in Danomics. I hope these are useful to you. If you have any questions, as always, you can email me at support@danomics.com. Thank you.